Welcome back, fellow milk drinkers, to yet another Monday Milk Review. Today, we're going to be viewing the Cinnamon Toast Crunch by Nestle, thanks to these people here who voted for it. Now, this is a product of America, which comes with some certain interesting weird facts. It is a 14, I believe, Oz means ounce. I don't know. I'm not American, and I don't use ridiculous freedom units. I use the SI units of practically everyone else in the world. Why I bring up the SI units, though, is because the serving size is 414 milliliters, which is a really strange number, but it also says that a thoughtful portion is 1/2 of the bottle. Why say one serving size is the full bottle if half bottle is the recommended serving size? It seems a bit contrary. You may have obviously noticed that this is yet another cereal, which is such a stupid, strange trend because I'm never hearing anything good about them. I've done Fruit Loops, I've done Cocoa Pops, I've done the Nutri-Grain, and now we're sitting at Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is an American cereal, which I've never even tried before. All I really know to expect is it's going to be obviously cinnamon and probably a grainy or maybe more towards doughy flavor from the bread. I'm not too sure which of those two it may be, so we're going to find out together. Let's open it up and find out. But whilst we're talking about opening it up, I'm going to say that I quite like this kind of design. The wrapped sort of plastic look isn't terrible. It's basic, yeah, I guess, and it's not, I don't know, something about it, it just doesn't seem terrible to me like we saw from Nutri-Grain. I'm really liking this really ridged bottle cap though. That's going to be very easy to grip, which it is, but the bottle is a little bit flimsy, which I'm not a big fan of. Whoa, okay, so something that Australians will be a bit weirded out by. This doesn't have one of those rings that cracks as you undo it. So it was just tightly on, and then as soon as I undid it, it just released straight away. There was no cracks, which I'm so used to opening a bottle. It sounds like something so little, but when it's something so natural, it's weird when it's no longer there. Wow, I can really smell that cinnamon. It kind of smells a bit like a fresh baked donut. I honestly love cinnamon donuts, so I'm quite hopeful about that sniff test. Let's pour it in and see what it looks like. Wow, that looks really, really thick as I just poured it in. It's a very plain colored white. You know, I could honestly say it looks like standard milk. I believe that the bottle is rigid enough to not really be any issue or be considered flimsy though. After just sort of pouring it just now, it's not flimsy, it's just a little bit squishy, which it's a very minor critique. I actually had a viewer mention the nutritional information, including sugars. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put a little table up on screen now. Have a close look at that if you're interested in the nutritional information, but let's go right on ahead to the sniff from the glass. Again, it's that cinnamon smell. I wouldn't call it potent, but it's very, very clear. I can't get any taste of, I guess, grain or perhaps dough from the toast portion of the name. So perhaps this is going to be mostly cinnamon centric. It does say underneath its main branding, Cinnamilk. Maybe it's just meant to be cinnamon flavored. Let's find out. Okay, wow, that's so much better than I expected. I gotta first give props because this is obviously a long life milk. They've done the thickness quite nicely. It airs to a little bit gluggy. It's a little bit too thick for my total perfect preference, but it's not thin. And in my opinion, it's way better to be a little bit too thick than a little bit too thin. The taste itself, you definitely get that rich flavor of cinnamon. I didn't get a single hint of anything grainy at all. So perhaps this is just cinnamon centric, which I think was absolutely the right move. If any representatives from Nestle are watching, they did that correctly. Do not put grain or something weird in there. It won't work. The cinnamon choice was correct. I've had a cinnamon flavored milk in the past. Oak has done that before with the cinnamon donut, and I remember saying it tasted like a vanilla with maybe the slightest hint of cinnamon.
I actually don't know what that's supposed to be. I probably wouldn't classify that as donut. It honestly tastes a lot like vanilla. I actually don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference between vanilla and this. I think I'm getting like small traces of cinnamon, but I honestly can't tell you what that's supposed to be.
This one is very clearly cinnamon flavored. The oak one was a massive disappointment, so this is a really good improvement looking at a past example. I honestly am really enjoying this drink, and I would happily recommend it to anyone. Of course, it's a very weird flavor, so it may not be for everyone, but in terms of an experience of cinnamon milk, I think it's really worthwhile. It is really hard to find, I'll give you that. I only got lucky as I entered a candy store and I saw a range of a few American drinks, and amongst those were a few flavored milks. If you aren't following me on Instagram, that's what I found, and I'll be reviewing them in the weeks to come. Drop a comment below if any of those particularly interest you. I know a lot of people are interested in the Snickers, but the two Starbucks versions, there's a chocolate churro and a mocha. I'm really interested in that chocolate churro. That sounds really weird. From nearly finishing the glass, I can't say I'm getting tired of it. I'm still enjoying it as I drink along. I really don't think I'm gonna struggle to finish this one, which I honestly didn't expect. I'd actually heard some pretty bad rumors about this one, but wow, it's impressed me. I think I have to give this one 9 out of 10. Because the only thing I can really critique it on is it's a little bit too thick for my tastes. If they used maybe natural fresh milk, it would probably have a much nicer mouth experience because the flavor is great. I'm really liking it, and I think you could too. So keep a lookout for this one. It's going to be really hard to find, I promise you that, but if you do ever find it, consider giving it a go. But that about wraps us up for this week's episode of the Monday Milk Review. Thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like on this video, and maybe even consider subscribing if you want to keep up to date. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you next week in the Monday Milk Review. Bye bye!